G'day everyone, got something a little bit different for you today. I needed a break from my traditional model building. I just needed to lose my mojo, so I needed something a bit fresh to get me interested in, get me out of the rut I was in, and I decided I would try a ship. I haven't built a ship since I was a teenager, so it was a bit of fun just to get back into it. And I thought, a nice, easy one to start on looks like the Tamiya 1/350 scale Fletcher, and it certainly was. It's certainly a quite a nice kit. Typical of Tamiya, all the parts come individually bagged, all the sort of different sprues, and you actually have a single piece hull, which was nice and easy to put together, so you didn't have to worry about joining up the hull halves and everything like that. And I thought it's a nice, easy kit to start on. And me being me, I couldn't really just leave it at that. I had to add some extra to it. Just a quick rundown on the sprues. Very, very little flash. The only real flash I could find was on the actual anti-aircraft guns. So a little bit of cleaning up to do on the end of those. Pin marks. Only pin marks that you will see once the kit is built are along the stern of the ship, so along the aft. So you'll have a couple of pin marks on the shafts for the propellers. They're easily enough fixed, and one on the rudder, which is nice and easy to get to. So not too hard to fix up there. Other than that, it goes together really well. I actually haven't even glued most of this together. It's just sitting there. So I can paint it. I'll dismantle it for painting, and I'll show you what we've done to that in a second. But yeah, the kit itself seems reasonably accurate. There's no railings with the kit, unfortunately, but it is a budget kit. It doesn't cost very much to get one of these, so you don't expect a heck of a lot. No gun bags, so just make those out of milli part, so on and so forth. Just trying to think what else was there really that was missing. A couple of the bits of the structure are missing. Obviously there's no wooden deck on this ship, so it's nice and easy to get started into. You don't have to worry about that. The other thing which let the kit down just a little bit, and well, it's a maybe, is on the guns themselves. The guns are actually slightly off center on a lot of the photos that I see of the actual ships. Whereas these guns are centered directly in the middle of the turret. I do see other photos where they actually seem to be centered, so I don't know actually if it 100% without doing a lot of research into it if that's correct or not. But certainly I have seen photos where they're off center, so if you want to do that with this kit, you've got 5 guns on the kit, but you actually get 6 in the set, so you can play around with one and see if you can get it looking quite nice. If you get it off center, try and see how you go with that. And if it doesn't work, then no loss, you got your 5 guns normal. That's the other sort of semi-odd thing about this kit. There's a lot of double ups on parts and things, so like anti-aircraft gun shields, things like that, which isn't too bad. It just means you've got a little bit of room to play with. So a lot of the parts are very small, so if you break something, it's not the end of the world. You've usually got another piece there for a lot of the fiddly stuff. Overall, quite good. I'd recommend it as a great entry-level kit, something to get started on. Paint scheme is going to be a little bit tricky. I'll cover that a bit more in a minute. And I'm just going to move the camera so I can show you a close-up view of the kit. Alright, so we're a little bit closer to it here, and I'm still using my camera stand. I'll use a little bit of freehand in a minute. I don't want to make you all seasick with the wobbly camera if I can avoid it. So, as you can see, I decided to put some photo etch on the kit, and we'll just zoom in a little bit there so you can see what I'm talking about. Some photo etch railings, little ladders, stairs, things like that. Replace some of the gun shields on the anti-aircraft guns with little photo etch pieces. Lot of fun. Really, really enjoyed it. This little guy's not sitting centered because he's not fixed, but you can see the photo etch on the back of that as well. So even though I wanted an easy build, I had to make it a bit more difficult for myself, but I really enjoyed it. It was not anywhere near as hard as I thought it was going to be. I did use, and I'll just get the label here so you can see it, Tom's modelworks Fletcher detail set. Now, to be honest, I'm not overly enthusiastic about this photo etch set. I thought I'd try something different. I hadn't tried anything from Tom's before, and the quality of it was really high, so the quality was really good. All the photo etch material is excellent. However, the instructions you get with the actual kit in a lot of areas border on vague at best. There's quite a few bits where you really just have to look at reference photos and guess where things are meant to go and what's meant to happen. That said, the railing on it was really good. The rail netting, 2-bar railing, everything there was excellent. However, there's not enough of it, and that was really frustrating. If you're going to do all the little pieces on the gun turrets and things like that, and we'll just move it across here so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. So all these little bits of railing, and that one needs to be fixed, it's a little bent, but all those little bits of railing and everything like that, you run out of railing. Now, I used all my offcuts, I used everything. Just didn't have enough. And so for the ladders, I didn't have enough, and for the general railing itself, I didn't have enough. And it's kind of frustrating when you sort of look at it and go, well, I need another, 2 or 3 inches of railing to complete this kit, and I haven't got it. And what am I going to do? Spend another 20 US or whatever on getting another set of railings just to complete it. It becomes quite an expensive exercise once you do that. But so that was a little frustrating. Other than that, the quality of all the photo etch stuff was very good. My skill on putting it on, probably less so, but yeah, the quality of it was quite nice. The aerials, so just zoom in on the aerials there, so you can see the radar on the top left here. You've got the radar systems and aerial systems. They were actually quite easy to do. They look a little complex, but they weren't that hard to do. One other thing I found just lacking with the Tom's kit, and I don't know if this is the same with Eduard or whatever brand you choose, is there are multiple parts through the construction where you look at the depth charges or you look at the radar or whatever, and it says, oh, go and get yourself, X amount of diameter plasticard round pieces to, complete this part. It would actually be really handy if they just include that in the packet instead of having to go out and buy all these additional little bits of plasticard, like big packs of plasticard just to do, a 1 centimeter little bit like on there. It's just really frustrating, and it wouldn't be that hard to do, and I'm sure it wouldn't add a heck of a lot of cost to the kits. And yeah, that'd make it a lot easier, a bit more user friendly. So there are parts during the construction where I haven't used the photo etch, and I'll just show you what's left of the photo etch sheet. So you can see there's a fair bit left on there. That's vertical steps, so I've got some of those left over. There's nowhere I can really use them. Don't need any other areas with those. You get a couple of different aerial setups for your radar mast, which is fine. And I've got some leftover bits of the railing, which I just decided, personally, I just didn't want to use it. I put it on the front of the ship, and I've seen photos with it right along, or stopping at middle. I thought, I'll just leave it at the middle. I preferred just to have the normal railings running along length. But you can see the photo etch set there. I know it's pretty glary, I'm sorry. You can see the photo etch set though. It's good detail. It's good quality, but there are parts on there which I haven't used because it just feels like I'm just using them for the sake of using photo etch. So on the depth charge rack on the back, you can see that there. There's photo etch sets for the brackets and everything on there, as well as the guards on the back here. And I just didn't bother with them. The kit parts really weren't all that bad, so I didn't really see the point in investing the time building up the photo etch. I did a little bit of scratch building on the rear gun deck there. So if you have a look here, I've put in some supports for that. If you look at a lot of the reference photos, you'll see those. There are more at the front, which I can't put in at this stage because I've still got to finish assembly. So once I do the painting and everything, if I still feel like it, I'll probably put them in there. And just a little bit of scratch build detail around the side there, using a bit of easy line and some plasticard, just based on a photo I saw on the internet, and I honestly have no idea what it is, but I thought, it looks interesting. Sort of breaks up the round detail of that a little bit more. Places where I really would have liked to have used the railing on this conning tower here, I just don't have enough. And some along the back here. Now, people will say, oh, well, this doesn't have it, that doesn't have it. There's so much variation with the Fletcher Class ships. If you look at all the photos, you'll see, you know, there are some with railings here, some without, and vice versa at the back. I'm guessing it really just depends on when it was built. And they did build quite a lot of these ships, so yeah, who knows. I put a little bit of extra detail on here, just for some bits out of my spares, just so I can do the rigging a bit easier when it comes to it. And to do the rigging, I am going to try out Easy Line. So I've heard a lot of good things about this product and seen quite a few demos of it, and thought, yep, let's have a crack at it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, I'll just take it off. But yeah, there you go. One last bit of info on the photo etch. If you have a look at the mast here, you see there's a bit of plastic sticking out the back. It's a bit hard to see because it's so small, but there's a bit of plastic sticking out the back. Meant to cut off the original radar mast and then use that photo etch piece to sit on top, but it's so small and finicky that I really did not trust my ability to keep it on there. So I decided to cheat a little bit and leave a little bit of plastic up there just to make it a bit easier to glue down. So something to bear in mind if you're looking at this and going, why is that like that? Last thing, painting. So I will do this scheme. I am going to change a little bit. It does call for a darker colour on the deck. So it's not a wooden deck, it's a metal deck. It does call for a dark colour along the deck. And I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a lighter colour just based on some reference photos. I just think it'll look better. Personal choice though, really. It's up to you. And alright, well, I've said pretty much everything. The last thing I've got to cover is just decal sheet. Typical Tamiya decal sheet, good quality. I'm sure I'll have no issues putting these on. There's not a heck of a lot to do, and just a couple of stickers for the stand. I don't know if I'm going to use those stickers. I might, think of something else. Don't know yet. So, but yeah, all there, pretty simple, straightforward. Fun build. Took me probably a couple of days, but I really enjoyed it. It was nice, a nice break from what I've been doing. Yeah, you get photo etch parts for the exhaust stacks as well, but once again, I didn't bother using them. It's just didn't see much point to it. They look they're modelled quite well. Overall, very, very happy with this kit, especially for the price. It was very cheap, and yeah, looking forward to painting it. So hopefully we'll have that coming up soon for you. And I'll just change my camera angle once again and show you a bit more of the close-up detail. Okay, so be warned, I'm not using the camera mount anymore, so it's going to get a little bit wonky. But you can see the ladder there. I don't know how I've done that. I've got to fix that on the front gun turret. It's off center a little bit. That's easily enough fixed. And you can see the sort of twin railing on the side there. You've got the normal railing and then you've got the netting in behind it, which is really neat. And it was probably one of the main reasons why I decided to go for the Tom's aftermarket kit. Railing on the bridge. Very neat again, just up here. And you can see I've even been able to step it up for the step in the bridge. That was actually surprisingly easy. Just do the front section first, and then start at the back, and then work your way forward, and then cut it off, and then step the railing up. It wasn't that hard at all. Really, really enjoyed it. The only part I really had issue with getting to sit properly was these sections here, and that had nothing to do with the product itself. It was just my skills, or lack thereof. But yeah, really nice looking kit. Very little cleanup to do during the build. It really was a breeze. So thank you Tamiya. And we're just going to try and get a better shot of the aerial there for you. So you can see that radar mast. It's really finicky. It's really small. So I just put that little bit of plastic at the back, or kept that little bit of plastic at the back, just so I had something to glue it to, because it was just, and I'll probably trim that down a little bit. It's a bit too big. But and that's the replaced radar mast there. You can see it's got the molded on railings on the side. Just ran out of railings. And I can't even have the railing on the aerial go all the way down to the deck because it just wasn't enough. So, well, they're the step ladders or whatever. But, yeah, a little frustrating. These baskets, some reference photos I've seen have them on front and back. Some just have them on front, some just have them on back. There was 5 of those included in the Tom's kit, so I decided just to do a little bit extra and chuck them on both sides. They, if I'm not mistaken, they actually held a cork netting in them, so if the ship sank, the cork would obviously float and the netting would float to the surface, so if you didn't have time to launch the boats, you could have something to hold on to at least whilst you're in the water. And you can see the injector pin mark at the back there that I've filled and sanded. And there's another one just here, as I was saying. So they're really the only parts of the kit that need a little tiny bit extra attention. Other than that, it's molded beautifully. Hope you like it. I know my video is probably a little bit boring, but I just had to share it with you. I loved making this kit, and I really should have done a review beforehand, but I just really want to get started on it. So yeah, hopefully we'll have more coming soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll have some more updates on ongoing builds coming as well, so keep an eye out. Thank you.